gonna pay! A brush with the crusher means pain! Pain! Pain!
Everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Monster Wars. I'm Luann Lee. Action, thrills, and danger are what this show is about, and today is no exception. If you've never seen monster truck racing before, you're in for the ride of your life. Just check out what you missed last week. Last week, it was Gravedigger who finished the show at the top of the heap. In the finals, he defeated a rookie, Monster Patrol, and picked up enough points to advance to first place in the Monster Wars season standing. But today's show is a different story. There won't be any rookies, and we're putting the scoring on hold. It's an extra special edition of Monster Wars, our mid-season invitational challenge. The USHRA Association invited some of the best trucks in the world to the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, including the granddaddy of them all, Bigfoot.
Pontiac, Michigan is a return to the birthplace of monster trucking. It was just about 13 years ago that Bigfoot made the entrance on the scene and drove the capacity crowd here at the Pontiac Silverdome absolutely crazy. It's just grown in intensity over the years, and now it's boiling at a frenzy, and we're back again with a U-turn course and all the best monsters in the world. I'll be back in the pit area just bringing you all the stories from behind the scenes, and of course, with the play-by-play is the silver-tongued one himself, Joe Lowe.
Yes, sir, we are sold out, a capacity crowd, and they have come to see the best of the best. This is the Invitational. All the big boys of monster truckdom are here, including Bigfoot. Andy Brass driving Bigfoot. Now, he was our fastest qualifier. He gets a bye run. He'll also show us this course. It's a U-turn, as Jim said. You go up, you must make a hairpin turn, then straighten out and head for the cars. Whoa! That's how Bigfoot does it, the Big Ford. He was our fastest qualifier. Gets that bye run. That means he runs against nobody in round number one. But we do have side-by-side racing. It's Barefoot against Gravedigger.
I prefer a U-turn course as my main course. But I want Barefoot as my dessert. Barefoot, I'll make sure you start and finish right where you belong, at ground zero. Then I'll savor the victory.
It takes a combination of things to win here. First of all, the truck has to be able to accelerate. Secondly, the driver be able to maneuver properly. Dennis Anderson took Gravedigger to fourth in qualifying. Fred Schaefer took Barefoot to ninth. This is our Monster Wars Invitational Challenge. Tread to tread, Barefoot has taken out Gravedigger once on the season. Dennis Anderson of the Gravedigger tells us what it takes to win.
It's going to be a real fast straightaway. Brakes will be hot coming into the turn, and we get squared away in the turn and just nail it and jump the cars, you know. And I just got to keep an eye on old Fred over there. I mean, I'm going to run my race. He's going to run his, but the old Dodge runs good. I got to give him credit. With this old 1950 Chevy, will beat his door down.
If confidence has anything to do with it, he could do it. Side by side, they go around and up and over and into the turn, and oh! Oh, the Gravedigger rolls! Barefoot has some problems on the turn, but Gravedigger rolls! Barefoot goes on to win it! Gravedigger rolls! Dennis Anderson is on his roof! The time for Barefoot, 18.72. Gravedigger looked great off the line. He had the acceleration down, but either the brakes didn't work or the short wheelbase caused him a problem, and when he went to make the turn, he went over. The tires look good. I think he just didn't decelerate enough. Maybe he couldn't find the brake pedal. Whatever it is, Dennis Anderson's on his roof in the Gravedigger. Barefoot is in the winner's circle. The question on everybody's mind, is Dennis okay? He's out of the truck waving to the crowd. Dennis Anderson is in fact okay, and he's worried about his truck as he surveys the damage to Gravedigger. And now they've hooked the front end loader up, trying to right Gravedigger on all four tires. One thing's for sure, Digger is virtually out of this race. He will not be back.
Doomsday was closer than I thought for me. That's like turning over in my grave. I can't believe I flipped out. Nevertheless, the Digger will return and make a living hell for all who cross my path.
Today for our mid-season invitational challenge, a very special edition of Monster Wars. We promised you unstoppable action, and Gravedigger definitely delivered. He flipped over in the first race of the day. Jim Davidson standing by with Dennis Anderson now.
You know, a lot of people wonder how you get in and out of a monster truck. And Dennis Anderson in the Gravedigger has just made it easy to see. Dennis, you ripped the door off, a lot of body damage. That was pretty wild.
Hey, I'll tell you, I charged that turn pretty hard, come flying down the straightaway. Figured if I could get the back wheels to break loose, I could scoot the tail end around. I'd get lined up for the cars and put the old man away, but it didn't work.
This doesn't have anything to do with me asking you to clear all 10 cars, does it?
I don't think so. I was trying to get around that turn more than anything, and I just wanted to beat that big red Dodge. And like I say, Fred put me out this time, but I'll get him.
Tell me about the damage to the truck. Anything major?
It's not really too bad. It didn't mess up any of the drive line. It's just mainly all body damage.
We're glad Dennis is okay. We are ready for more monster truck action. This time, Carolina Crusher faces Invader, a Chevy Ford matchup. Carolina Crusher qualified 3rd, Gary Porter aboard. Invader is driven by Ray Perkowski. He qualified 8th here in Pontiac. The Monster Wars Invitational Challenge continues, and tread to tread, Invader is 1-0 on the season against Crusher. But this is Carolina Crusher's type of race, a U-turn where he has to work and work hard in that turn. Gary Porter can do it. Carolina Crusher, he wants to crush Invader.
Invader, I'm gonna chew you up and spit you out like a piece of galactic garbage. Oh, yeah!
Crusher! You're a catastrophic disaster! I'll jolt past you in a minute and lay your sorry carcass to rest!
Rest on this, you spaced out junk heap! There's only one place for you! Bang! Zoom! And I'll kick you past Uranus!
Uranus! I'm surprised you even know the name of one of your sickly solar system's planets. Get ready to see the Invader move at the speed of light to victory!
The strategy here, right off the line, speed up. Go as fast as you can, then shut it down. Use the rear steer for the turn. Straighten up and head for home. Going into that turn, Invader and Carolina Crusher both saw what happened to Gravedigger. They don't want it to happen to them. And Carolina Crusher does a flawless job of driving. Invader has problems with that turn. It cost him the win. Full 2 seconds behind Carolina Crusher. Gary Porter is going to round number 2. This is how it happened. He comes up, he shuts it down. You see the front end back out. Now notice the rear steer. The rear tires turn, and then it straighten up, hit that set of cars, and fly up and over them. Carolina Crusher moves on. Invader went into the turn a little too quickly. He hit the rear steer, and then by the time it straightened up, he had to back out of things because he was already approaching the cars. It was just a matter of driving skill that cost him the win. Carolina Crusher very happy with that one. He moves on here in Pontiac.
It's off to the junkyard for you, Invader. Next time, maybe I should give you this kind of head start. Ah!
This one between Kodiak and Taurus. Kodiak is driven by Mark Bendler. Jack Willman Sr. pilots Taurus. Yes, I did say Jack Willman Sr. Now, the question on everybody's lips is why is truck developer and owner Jack Willman Sr. driving the truck?
All the new trucks that I build, I start out testing them out, and that this particular one I didn't. I let Jackie have at it, and I just thought instead of letting, I have Jackie as a driver and Eldon as a driver. Jackie's my son, Eldon's my nephew. They're both young. And they don't think the old man can drive, and there ain't no sense letting them have all the fun.
Well, let's all have some fun. You guys watch this one. Taurus and Kodiak on the line. Jack Willman just smokes it down there. He shuts down. Kodiak has a little problem going around that turn. Jack Willman, look at this guy. The old man can do it. There'll be some celebrating tonight. Taurus with a full 1.5-second lead over Kodiak.
Whoa, once a cowboy, always a cowboy. And that very motto is how the West was won, partner. Although it was a darn tough face-off and we fought like dogs, Kodiak still got smoked. Now I'm riding to number 1 with a bullet. Yeah!
Where did Kodiak make the mistake? He looked good on the straightaway, but it was the turn that got to him. He went very, very wide. He had to back out of it as he hits it too quick. The rear steer locks up on him, and Taurus Jack Wellman driving like the pro that he is. It may have been a while since he's been up in a monster truck, but he remembered how to handle that big bad boy. Meanwhile, on the sideline, Jack Wellman Jr., Jackie we call him, he's watching Dad get the win in the truck.
Jackie, you're in civilian clothes. Can you explain to me why?
Oh, it's my dad's truck, and he thought he might give it a try tonight. And qualifying, he didn't do too bad, so I'm kind of spectating.
Well, I had a chance to talk to your dad earlier, and he said, you know, I'm tired of these guys calling me the old man. He's getting back in the wheel, back in the saddle, so to speak, and he's getting out there. He had the 4th fastest qualifying time. Yeah, he done pretty good. It's been over a year since he's drove, and his truck here is brand new, and he's never drove it, so he done real good for, you know, not driving for a while.
This Monster Invitational is just full of new trucks we have not seen before on Monster Wars. This matchup pits Maximum Overkill against First Blood.
Oh! This is the first time I've heard of Maximum Overkill. What a stupid name! He'll go down just fine when I suck the life right out of him.
See? I know you do. I may not be in today's competition, but life isn't always perfect. So don't scratch me out, and I'll be back on the prowl next week to shock him dead.
The Silver Dome Pontiac, some 50,000+ people watching the big monster stage. Jerry Richmond driving Maximum Overkill. He qualified 2nd with a time of 5 seconds. Rob Fuchs in First Blood qualified 7th, 5.39 seconds for his qualifying run. This is our Monster Wars Invitational Challenge, bringing together the best, biggest, baddest trucks in the world. And Maximum Overkill certainly ranks up there along with First Blood. Jerry Richmond drives Overkill. He signals he's ready, waits for the green light. It is showtime! Off the line, they are even. And now the very, very important turn. Maximum Overkill seems to be able to maneuver a little better than First Blood. Maximum Overkill gets the win. His time, 10.52 seconds. Off the line, they were even. They looked very, very good. Very evenly matched going into the turn. And then Maximum Overkill is just able to outmaneuver First Blood. If First Blood hopes to be able to register a win in Pontiac, he's going to have to learn to handle that turn. He's hoping to come back as one of the fastest losers from round 1.
I will avenge defeat. It seems Maximum Overkill and I have blood ties. When we hook up again, I'll have to have a heart-to-heart with him.
Our 5th and final race of round number 1 pits Rambo and Equalizer. This could be a barn burner. David Morris handles the driving duties in Equalizer. Bill Weaver Jr. up in Rambo. Equalizer and David Morris have been doing a super job on the season. We have not yet had an opportunity to see Rambo on Monster Wars. But let me tell you something. This guy lives up to the name Rambo. He clears out the cylinders. We are set for a matchup between Rambo and Equalizer. They wait for the green light off the line. Equalizer with a little bit of a hole shot. They go into the turn. David Morris is an expert on this. Rambo has a bit of a problem. He has to slow down. Equalizer makes short work of one of the top trucks in the country. Equalizer smokes Rambo. David Morris takes the Equalizer to a win. He's got to be one happy man right now.
Yeah! I made Rambo run for cover. I thought it would be a rocky race, but oh, no problem. We're squared off again in the 2nd round. And when we do, I'll make sure that race is no cliffhanger. Hey, on the sly, I want to take Rambo prisoner for good, and I will. Yeah!
You know, we talked at the beginning of the show how horsepower was everything, but took the driver to make the turn. David Morris, watch him work. This is masterful. The turn was easy for him, and so was the win.
I'm here with David Morris, who pilots the Equalizer. David, this is a tough track, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We got a real tight turn here, and along with that tight turn, you got a whole lot of speed, and you got to compensate the turn for the speed that you're going there. And when you go into that turn, you're going pretty fast, and you're either going to slide around it or tip over.
Like Dennis Anderson, the Gravedigger, did.
Right.
Did that scare you at all, seeing what happened to him on that turn?
No, not really. You know, you just got to go out there and race. You can't be scared, and you know, you got to take it, whatever comes.
The Silverdome is rocking, and we keep on a-rolling with more action. Before we cruise into round 2, let's take a look at who'll be at the starting line. The winners from round 1 automatically advance, so that means we'll be seeing Equalizer, Carolina Crusher, and Taurus, along with Maximum Overkill and Barefoot. And don't forget that Bigfoot was granted a bye run earlier, and we'll see him race for the first time in the next round. The 2 fastest losers will also continue to compete. So that means Rambo and First Blood have one more chance to avenge their first round losses. But from here on in, winning is all that counts. You can bet these monsters will be going all out for glory. There's lots more action ahead. Don't go anywhere. Wars, there's much more ahead as we get set for round 2. Let's take a look at who will do battle there on their way to the semifinals. Veteran driver Fred Schaefer takes on Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. Equalizer beat Rambo once, and he'll look to do it again in this round 2 rematch. Another rematch has First Blood seeking maximum revenge against Maximum Overkill for his earlier loss. And for the first time on Monster Wars, we'll see the truck that started it all. Bigfoot takes on Taurus. Bigfoot's Bob Chandler has watched the sport explode from a whim of his back in the 70s to a fantastic fan phenomenon. The rise of monster truck racing is a great sports story. We dug deep into the archives of the U.S. Hot Rod Association for a little history lesson. Let's take a step back in time and learn how monster trucks got to be the battling beasts they are today.
They're big, they're bad, they're mean. They're monster trucks, and they've been stomping and mashing for over a decade. These soaring bad boys have a colorful history you won't find in any textbook. The place is Pontiac, Michigan. Driver Bob Chandler makes world history and stuns thousands of fans when he exhibits his dream truck, Bigfoot. The first monster truck in history. The crowd went into a wild frenzy watching the 4-wheel giant crush 2 cars with a single blow. Bigfoot's creation in 1974 was an instant success. The crowds were in awe of the 4-wheel drive Ford truck with jacked up suspension and oversized tires. Watching the colossal truck leap and crush quickly became one of the U.S. Hot Rod Association's most popular sports. Now, for almost a year, the lone monster dazzled the crowds at sporting events. But then Fred Schaefer built the competition, Barefoot, and made his own name in monster truck history. By 1984, crushing exhibitions took on a competitive edge. Trucks were pitted against each other in freestyle events and judged by crowd applause. Soon the fans wanted more, and so they got it. In 1987, the U.S. Hot Rod Association organized the first racing series with monster trucks going at it in head-to-head combat. Today's trucks have gotten bigger, faster, and more powerful. The 90s breed of monster trucks have coil-over suspension systems, 66-inch tall flotation tires, and alcohol-injected blown engines. They're capable of generating 1,400 horsepower, which means they're bigger, they're badder, and they're meaner than ever before. And who knows what madness the next generation monster truck will bring. We'll just have to wait and find out.
We end our little history lesson with this amazing fact. This year alone, more than 4 million fans are expected to attend monster truck events all over the world, making it one of the fastest growing sports anywhere. Well, maybe we'll see some history in the making today. Bigfoot's ready to face Taurus to start round 2. And who better to make those historical calls than our own Professor Joe Love.
We may rewrite the history books here, Luann, Bigfoot and Taurus. The matchup of the night starts off round number 2. And on the sidelines, truck owner, the man who started the whole thing, Bob Chandler. Earlier, he contrasted yesterday's monster trucks and today's.
When I was doing it years ago, it was all we did was car crushes. You come out and you do over a set of cars and you wave to the crowd, and that was it. Well, now they're racing, and to me, I love it with all these other trucks here. They all have their own identities. They all have their own glitches that makes them faster than the other ones, supposedly. I love competing. I designed mine on computers. It's all done with the AutoCAD program, and to me, I think I can stay ahead of them. We're going to find out tonight whether I can or not.
And we certainly are. Bigfoot and Taurus. Let's check them out, see what the stats are like. 10,000 pounds for the Bigfoot Ford. It's powered by the Ford Hemi engine, putting out 1,400 horses. Taurus, again, 10,000 pounds, but this is Chevy powered. He has 1,200 horses. So Bigfoot has a little more power. Jack Wellman Sr., he thinks he can take on the big bad Ford. But Taurus definitely is taking his time in staging. He goes forward, he goes back. He's not too sure where he wants to stage. What's he thinking?
Oh, I'm just trying to psych you out, Bigfoot. You may be high and mighty as one of the first trucks, partner, but if you pull rank on the frontier, you get your hide whipped. Keep clear of this Wrangler. I'm wild about winning and stomping right over you.
They're finally staged. We're waiting for the start. Taurus, Bigfoot off the line. Taurus gets a little bit of an edge. They go into the important turn. Bigfoot clears him, but Taurus has problems. I think he hit the turning pole. I think Taurus hit the turning pole. If he did, that disqualified him. Oh, man. He had it over Bigfoot, but the turn is what did it. Taurus is, in fact, disqualified. Here's where it happened. Going into the turn. Oh! Just too tight on that turn, and then he almost flips the truck over. Jack Wellman Sr., he was looking great off the line. He wanted so badly to beat Bob Chandler's Bigfoot. He opened up a big lead, and then the turn. That has been a tough turn and a tough lane for everybody tonight, and it just disqualified one of the top trucks in the world, Taurus. Bigfoot moves on to semifinal action. And the dejected Jack Wellman Sr. goes to the pits in Taurus. Our next matchup pits Barefoot and Carolina Crusher, but they have to work on Barefoot. The whole crew is under there, including Ray Perkowski from Invader. Fred Schaefer, his crew chief, and Ray Perkowski. Apparently, there's transmission problems, and the question is, can they get it ready in time to face Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher? Talk about drama, he's on the clock.
Yeah, don't bother fixing your truck, Barefoot. I'll do enough damage in this race to ship you straight to the junkyard. And maybe you'll run into Invader there. Misery does love company. So, you two chumps will get along just fine.
Well, Barefoot does, in fact, get fixed. He's set to go against Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. Barefoot, the big Keith Black Hemi-powered Dodge, putting out 1,500 horses. And Gary Porter's Crusher, the big 557 Rodak, has 1,400. Gary Porter tells us what it takes to win in Pontiac.
In order to beat Barefoot here at Pontiac, I'm going to have to watch the light really close, try to get a hole shot on them, try to make plenty of power going down the front straightaway, stay into the throttle as long as I can, and then get hard on the brakes. I'm going to have to make the perfect turn and then get back into it full bore again to get the jump over the cars, because running against Fred Schaefer, there's no room for mistakes.
We have certainly seen our share of mistakes here, as everybody has problems on the turn. And up and around goes Gary Porter and Fred Schaefer. Barefoot and Carolina Crusher. Barefoot uses the extra 100 horsepower to win. 9.13 seconds. That's a record for this track. Barefoot, he just didn't back out of it until the final moment, then shuts it down. Maneuvers around that turn very, very, very quickly. And now it's time to power up and go for the win. He pulls away from Carolina Crusher. Barefoot's moving on to the semifinals. Fred Schaefer certainly knows how to maneuver that truck. What a great job of driving from Fred. Maybe that's why he's the world champion. Carolina Crusher, he's out of there.
No one can cage this raging bull forever, so don't even think about it. I should have bashed Barefoot. Next time I'll not only bash him, I'll chew him up and I'll spit him out all over the track. Yeah!
Round 2, race number 3 coming up, and up to stage is Maximum Overkill. Jerry Richmond's Maximum Overkill. The big Ford puts out 1,800 horses. And Rob Fuchs' First Blood, 1,400 horses. They both weigh in at about 10,000 pounds. First Blood, Maximum Overkill, ready to go. First Blood wants to win.
Overkill, don't you know it's good to give blood? I can help with this warning. Don't count me out again. I won't take another loss in vain. Overkill, I'm gonna rip your guts out.
We wait for the green light. Maximum Overkill, First Blood on the line. They don't seem to have the power that some of the other trucks have going down the straightaway, but maybe that's because they want to make this turn properly. Maximum Overkill does, and he goes across the finish line first. Maximum Overkill is in the semis, and First Blood is out of there. This turn seems to really haunt Rob Fuchs in First Blood. He just can't seem to do it right. The rear steer does not come around properly. He has to back out of it. By that time, Maximum Overkill already has the win. Matter of fact, Maximum Overkill goes a little wide on this turn. He lifts the front tire up and never really has a chance to straighten up before he hits the cars. The wheels are out of shape, and he just barely misses the finish line pole. But a win's a win. Maximum Overkill moves on. And up to stage comes Rambo. Bill Weaver Jr. up in Rambo. And his competitor, well, he's going to face the Equalizer in competition in round number 2, race number 4.
Woo! Rambo, this next race is going to be action-packed. The very thought of losing to a mercenary like you makes my stomach turn. The only shoot 'em up and bang-bang you're gonna see in this race is the exhaust from my engine as it's hightailing across the finish line. Eat your heart out, Stallone. Yeah!
3 of the 4 trucks will be for our semifinals. We're about to find out the 4th, Equalizer or Rambo. Now, Rambo, piloted by Bill Weaver Jr., is the heavier of the two, 14,000 pounds, powered by a 1,400 horsepower Chevy. Equalizer weighs in at 10,200 pounds. He has 1,300 horses, but he's much lighter. And the lighter you are, the faster you'll go. And that's what it's all about in monster truck racing. Not so much car crushing, but monster truck racing. They want to go fast. They want to stay on the car. You're in the air, you're not winning. Even going down the straightaway, this is where the weight problem comes into effect. Equalizer, much lighter, makes it around the turn. Rambo really has to work to make it, and Equalizer gets the win. You could see Rambo bouncing around after the finish. Again, the weight factor. He's got to shave some weight off that truck if he ever wants to beat truck, the Equalizer. Down the straightaway, Rambo and Equalizer. The turns where it all happens. Equalizer flowing smoothly, looking almost like liquid. Rambo is just bouncing around, wobbling, takes a lot of time. Equalizer's up and over. And Rambo, he's doing a bouncy bounce. Equalizer waves to the crowd. He's going to the semifinals.
Well, all right. I knew I could match Rambo's rage. He tried to invade my territory, but I stood a firm ground and put him off target. Rambo, it's the jungle out there, baby, so take my marching orders and get lost.
The semifinals are just ahead, and some of the world's top trucks are heading for a showdown. Equalizer will put it into overdrive, trying to run down Maximum Overkill. And then it's the battle of the feet. Bigfoot and Barefoot look to step all over each other. Everyone wants to beat Barefoot. Fred Schaefer, the reigning world champion, is one of the most experienced drivers on the circuit. He's as tough as a grizzly on the race course, but when he's not competing, Friendly Fred's as lovable as a teddy bear.
I love to race, go fast, fly high.
1992 U.S. Hot Rod Association's world champion Fred Schaefer is a force to be reckoned with. Owner and driver of Barefoot, he's on the ground to make monster truck history.
I'm the only two-time champion out there. My goal is to be the only three-time champion. I guess I'm one of the older experienced drivers, and I've been around for quite some time. Maybe it shows in my experience because winning the championship in 1992 tells me that my reflexes are still not that bad. Maintaining my body's like maintaining my truck. I feel I can take a beating if I have to. I don't feel like I'm 45. I feel like I'm about 20.
A healthy mind is as important to Fred as staying in shape. He keeps busy as a national spokesperson for drug prevention.
I got a message for all the kids out there. Give your dreams a chance to grow. Just say no. Okay, let's put the bucket down. Let's throw it right here. I think I'm the only monster truck driver out there. Maybe it's got 4 grandkids. Come and get it. This is home here. When you come home, take care of the animals and play with the grandkids and the animals at the same time. This is like a vacation.
An animal lover all his life, Schaefer lives on 10 acres of land in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, large enough to maintain a small zoo. In fact, his truck is actually named after 2 of his favorite zoo pets, Sugar and Spice.
I say I walk them on a leash, but usually they walk me. He's 7 foot tall and he weighs about 550 now. He's real gentle. Let's show the kids how big the black bear is. You got me all dirty. Let's show them how big Spice is. No, we don't pull the arm down now.
Like his bears, Schaefer has a soft and cuddly side, warm and good-natured. But on the track, he becomes a ferocious animal ready to devour anyone who gets in his way.
Fred Schaefer will be taking on Bigfoot in just a few moments in their semifinal showdown. Barefoot is currently in 2nd place this season in the Monster Wars standings. Only one truck has more points thus far this year, Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger. The Digger got knocked out of today's competition when he flipped his truck in round 1. Dennis is not one to let down the crowd. Disappointed that he couldn't entertain the fans, here's how Mr. Anderson turned on the Silverdome, Gravedigger style.
What a ceremony. All for me. Now that's what I call knocking them dead.
Maybe it's time that I became a terrible twosome and killed him with my kinetic kindness. Overkill? Baby, you're over and done. This next win is going out to me.
The Monster Wars Invitationals. The best monster trucks in the world have been invited. We're down to the final 4. And now we're going to bring them down to 2. Maximum Overkill and Equalizer are lined up. Overkill, driven by Jerry Richmond, average time 10.52 seconds. David Morris has piloted the Equalizer with an average time of 9.52. 10,000-pound monster trucks putting out over 1,400 horsepower. But it's going to be who can tame that 1,400 horsepower and make it around that hairpin turn without a problem that wins it. Overkill and Equalizer. They are staged. They wait for the green light. And it's showtime at the Pontiac Silverdome. On the line, Equalizer with a slight hole shot. And now the important hairpin turn, Equalizer and Overkill. Overkill goes wide. Equalizer battles back and wins it. With a 1/10 of a second lead, your winner is Equalizer. These These are the best drivers in the world, but even the best make a mistake sometime, and that's what cost Jerry Richmond his win. He did not have his truck lined up when he approached the cars, made him go high. When you're going high and you're going up, you're not going forward. That cost him about 1/10 of a second. You can see it on the replay. Equalizer stays low, overkill goes high. Equalizer gets the win. So we know that Equalizer is in the finals here in Pontiac.
Woo, yeah! I made short work of maximum overkill. He tried to drive it home, but hey, somewhere he took a wrong turn. Well, I'm not at all worried about Bigfoot or Barefoot. I'll size them both up.
You couldn't have scripted this one any better, as Barefoot and Bigfoot face off in front of this crowd in Pontiac. And this is where it all started. Barefoot, Fred Schaefer, average time 13.92 seconds. Andy Branson, Bigfoot, an average time of 9.44 seconds. This is not just a race to see who goes to the finals. This is for pride. And if anybody knows what it takes to beat Bigfoot, it's Fred Schaefer, and he tells us what he has to do.
Okay, this is what it's going to take to beat Bigfoot. When you come off the line there, you got a good straightaway. You got to get a lot of speed up. If you hit the corner too fast, you're going to get on two wheels. You're going to have to let off of it, or you're going to get around that corner just right. He qualified real well here today. I think he qualified #1. So what we got to do is do everything right on this corner to get around that corner and let that horsepower work.
They are staged. Green light. Barefoot gets a hole shot, cuts a very good light. Bigfoot up and around. Barefoot, oh, he went over. He went over on those two tires. He's out of shape. He's out of it. Bigfoot wins it. Bigfoot wins it. 9.33 seconds. He takes out Barefoot. You know, Fred Schaefer should have kept his mouth shut. It was almost like the kiss of death in that pre-race interview when he told us what could happen, because that's exactly what did happen. On the turn, he came in too tight. The wheels came up. He's out of shape. Can't straighten up. Misses the cars entirely and loses it. So Bigfoot is in our finals. He'll face Equalizer when Monster Wars returns. It, the big one, the whole enchilada, as 50,000 plus fans get on their feet for our Monster Wars finals between Bigfoot and Equalizer. And getting to the finals was no easy task. Bigfoot had a bye run in round 1, then defeated Taurus and Barefoot. Equalizer, he had to take out Rambo twice and then maximum overkill. But getting here is only part of it. You have to get the win. And both these trucks know a whole lot about winning. Bigfoot was our fastest qualifier, but David Morris drives the Equalizer faster each time he goes around this track. As they come up the stage, it's anybody's guess as to who our winner will be. Their stage, the green light, and Equalizer is first off the line. Bigfoot is catching up. They go into the turn. Equalizer takes it around. Bigfoot takes it around. But Bigfoot is powering up. Bigfoot gets the win. Bigfoot wins it in Pontiac. 8.92 seconds, a new track record. Your champion is Bigfoot. And Equalizer can't believe he lost this race.
I was hoping for the thrill of victory. Well, now I'm suffering the agony of the feet. Big feet. This is it, Bigfoot. You may have won this one, but I'm a sold man, baby.
You kicked butt here tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. You know, I would say the blue Ford, but she's not blue anymore this year. We're putting green colors on this one. I say the green Ford did us a real good job, you know, thanks to the people at Ford backing us, guys like BDS, Firestone Tires, you know, it all come together. We made some horsepower. The truck hooked up on the track. It ran good, you know, and all I had to do was run it. You know, we got into the corner. I knew I was going to have to run a little harder because we were watching Dave. He was making some good corners. We went into the corner and just stayed with it all the way through. It seemed like we pulled it out tonight.
It was fitting that Bigfoot was victorious in the place where he started the monster truck craze years ago, the Pontiac Silverdome. Well, that brings an end to our first ever Monster Wars Invitational Challenge. It was a great chance to see some of the trucks that helped make this one of the world's fastest growing sports. Make sure you join us next week and every week for the most exciting action on television, Monster Wars. We'll see you then.